Hi, everyone. Welcome. Deb Sheppard, Facebook Live. I haven't been here for a while. I've missed everyone. I'm sure you're all joining, trying to get on, and hopefully the technology is working. I was told today it's October 10th. What a day. It is a magical number. If you're into numerology or you're into seeing signs from your angels and guides, 1010 is a amazing number because there's so many different reasons. It's about new beginnings, transformation, letting go of the past, starting new. So if today is a day you're like, wow, I need to look at things differently. I want to figure out my life. I'm at a crossroads in my life. Today is a good day to be on Facebook Live with me to have some fun. So it's about trusting that gut. You know how many times that we think, oh, I should have listened to my gut. I should have done this, would have, could have, should have, all those words that we use. Today is October 10th. It is a spiritual day. It is a high vibrational day about transformation and change. And if you're in that place where you're wanting to manifest and make a change in your life, today's a good day to start because it is endings and new beginnings, and new things are going to be presented out with the old and in with the new. Sometimes we think that the new year, it's 2024, it's 2023, that those are the days for transformation, but there are actually those little portals throughout the year that can be moments of time where we can make changes and make decisions and step into our life. So I want to talk about manifesting. And manifesting is a word that's been used a lot in our culture. And sometimes we think, oh, yeah, I want to manifest. I want to kind of make this vision board and see what things happen. I want to talk to you about the mistakes that people make and what I've been teaching, because manifesting is very powerful. And I've been doing it for close to 25 years about understanding how energy works and why manifesting works and sometimes doesn't work. And we sometimes look at people and go, why do they have like this Midas touch? Everything they do turns into gold. But I'm a hardworking person, and everything I try to do, it seems as if I just have these roadblocks. I just keep hitting a wall. I just don't seem to be able to, create the things that I want to create. And I feel like I have a big heart, and I give back, and I'm trying my very best, and I may be going to school or doing the right things, but I seem to not be able to create the life I want. I love teaching manifesting, and I love watching the success stories, because when we're able to put all these things together, because it's just not one philosophy. If you've read the book The Secret, or if you watched it, or if you've taken some classes, you're like, yeah, I'm thinking positive and I can do this and I can make this vision board, but it seems to fall flat. It's like the air of the balloon kind of goes out, and you're feeling like, this isn't happening. This is not real. What are people talking about? But there is some magic to it. There are things that you can put together that you can apply to really transform your life. Because why shouldn't you deserve to have the life you want? Why shouldn't you deserve abundance and partnerships and love and opportunities and all these things that can come into play? And to trust your intuition and release all that fear. I have a bunch of notes here because I really want to talk about and not miss anything that's so important, because it isn't the one answer. There isn't the one thing. There's a combination of things that come together, and it doesn't have to be complicated. I teach KISS, keep it simple, sweetie. So I'm not going to make this more challenging and more difficult, but I really want to be able to give some insight and tools for people to expand how they think and how to change things. And the first thing I teach is how to release those limiting beliefs. And sometimes people go, well, I really think positive, and I try to, not go into my story, and I try to make some changes. But what I have found through working with thousands of people regarding manifesting and how to change things is we still have a limiting belief. Even I work on it constantly, because we have these old patterns that show up. And it's from our childhood. It could be past lifetimes, if you believe in past lifetimes. It's just little things that we bring up in fear or doubt in ourselves. So we can have confidence and we can look at how we believe or how we say things, but it's really recognizing how we communicate, but more importantly, how we think. So we may say some positive things, and we may feel like, I deserve this and I want to do this, but there are those little tweaks that we need to do. I think about The times when we see a show and someone is doing a makeover, or someone goes into your house and paints a color and change a few things in the house, and you're like, wow, isn't that incredible? It's the same thing with our belief system and our thoughts. Our thoughts create our reality. And what happens is we get into this pattern and we don't even realize what we say. And when we mirror ourselves and we mirror the idea of, do you really feel this way? Or is that what you want to say or what you want to believe? And they're like, well, maybe not. So it's not discarding everything you believe, but maybe it's tweaking it, fine-tuning it, shifting it a little bit better. We carry as humans, and I think especially women, but I think it's across the board, that we feel guilty if we're not doing things a certain way, or we hold on to our past or feel shame in some way. When we're able to heal those things and refocus or have a different perspective, I always like to shift. It's the same story, but when we shift it, we become more powerful. We stop limiting our opportunities of creating a really fabulous life. And it's not about having a bigger ego or being better than anyone else, but it's really about allowing yourself to receive, because the more that you're able to receive, the more it's the ripple effect. You actually can help others. And what's really great about that, the more we shift that energy, that left brain to right brain, our left brain calms down a little bit. Our left brain, we love it, it's necessary, but oh my goodness, it takes up a lot of space. It's like having a roommate, or let's put it better this way. You have a guest that comes to visit and they don't leave, they make a mess, and they don't pay rent. The left brain loves to have that negativity. They like to judge. They like to say, oh, are you sure about that? The right brain is our creativity. It's where our guides show up. The right brain is the muscle that I like to help people exercise, because that right brain, we shut down as we grow up. As a kid, you have this imagination. What do you want to do? Things like that. But over time, life begins to shut that down. And that left brain is so strong. It's the muscle that says, oh, who do you think you are? You can't do that. So that belief system is balancing a little bit of the right brain to say, you're just as strong. You can really create. You can imagine. And that's where your guides come through to tap you on the shoulder. So if you want to hear from your guides, you want to hear from your loved ones, that's the muscle of the right brain. The left brain likes to say, I don't know, let's think about this. So you learn how to quiet that out a little bit. You start putting, I call mine Larry the left brain. I say sometimes, you know what, if you're not paying rent, you need to kind of go over here. That's the whole part of shifting that energy of what we believe. It's actually science. And if you're that person that needs the proof in the pudding, this is what we look at, the left brain, the right brain. And sometimes we don't even realize what we say. I know that all the time. I'm like, this is what you say, or you don't finish a sentence, or this is how you pronounce things. I'm like, really? We don't pay attention to ourselves enough. And when we realize that this is our common theme, we can make those changes. We've all met people that they say things and you're like, really? And it may have us judge them or think twice, or maybe not be as vulnerable because of what they say. So it's being really aware and conscious of what we think, what we believe, and what we create, because thoughts create, and we don't realize this. We're not taught about this in school. But the more you're able to fine-tune this, wow, life-changing. So we really want to work on that right muscle and name your left brain. Tell your left brain sometimes when it goes into the fear, when it goes into the story, quiet it down, tell it to have a timeout, go to another part of the house, whatever, just to make it quiet, because we all have those things that maybe our parents said, a partner said, a boss said, a client said, a child even said. We want to quiet that down, because someone's opinion isn't your truth. It's just an experience. And that's where you want to tame the lion, tame that left brain. And it takes time. That muscle, if you think about one muscle that you work really hard at, it's really strong. And when you work another muscle, it takes a little while, it gets a little sore. My next topic, oh my goodness, it is feng shui. I started feng shui when I was really in a difficult place. Matter of fact, as I was thinking about this, the person that told me about feng shui was a girlfriend that helped me in different times in my life. And actually today would be her birthday. She is passed a couple of years ago, but she told me, she goes, have you ever heard of feng shui? And this is when life was hard. My, money and jobs and security were just not there. And we're talking about hardworking, intelligent people, educated. Why was this happening to us? And when she told me about feng shui, I was like, how do you fix it, right? How do you eat it? What is it? Actually, feng shui has been around for 4,000 years. And in China, this was developed to understand how energy or qi works. So it's about how energy works. So if you walk into a fast food restaurant, there's bright colors and bright lights and things don't really match. And the intention for any fast food place is it's fast food. I want you in here, I want you out here because we know we want another client in here. That's the intention. If you go to a 5-star restaurant, it's all about, the lights are down, they take their time. It's the ambience, it's about the energy. They want you to stay as long as possible and spend as much money as you have to be able to have an experience. So feng shui is all about energy, the flow of things. How I started to learn about feng shui was I realized that the space in my home had a lot of power, and I did not realize that. And so when we understand that we can impact our life based on the space in our home, it is life-changing. And I didn't realize that. And when I started experiencing it, it was like mind-blowing. If you feel that your relationships are in the toilet or your money is being drained and going down the sink, most likely feng shui is a great cure and a fix to change things. I've even had recently a student that I was working with, and we did something. She had a very annoying neighbor that she just wanted, she didn't want badness, she just wanted him to move. And so I gave her some tips. She found it a couple of days later, there was a for sale sign. In less than a month, they moved out, and now she has some really great neighbors. Feng shui is a very powerful tool, not to cause harm to anybody else, but to make your life more empowered. There also, we were working on her reputation, an area in her life about her work and what people thought about her. When I was looking at her space, I went, oh, we need to work on this. She made some subtle changes. Within a month, she got a job offer of a lifetime, and people really respect her. It's been changing in that way. This is how feng shui is. Feng shui, you're not sitting there as a victim. You're sitting there going, I have the ability to change an outcome in my life. I don't just have to sit here and wait for things to happen. I've studied it for 25 years, and I have continually practiced feng shui in so many ways in order to help my life become better. And there's times I'm like going, well, this isn't working, and make those changes and make those shifts and figure this out. So learning feng shui, understanding your belief system and your thoughts and what you're doing, and tell Larry to settle down and put him in a room or closet you don't use. That's another way to manifest. It's using these techniques together to help shift what you're trying to create. That's why one method does not work. You want to look at so many things. And what's really great about feng shui is I teach it a simple version, so sometimes people will look at feng shui and get overwhelmed, but I will use it, and then I realize within a very short period of time, I start seeing changes. And that's what's really great, because when we don't see changes in something, it's like, I don't know if any of you have ever dieted and you're like, okay, I'm changing my life, I'm trying to diet and lose some weight, and if we don't see results, you sort of give up, trying, like, why am I doing this? When we apply multiple methods, that's when we start seeing a huge shift. So feng shui is just one of them, and it's something you can use for the rest of life. You can do it at your office, you can do it in a room, you can magnify it over, you can do it over your house, you can do it so many different ways. And if you have multiple houses, you can do it over multiple houses. That's the power of it. And it's fun. I think for a lot of us, I know this is for me, and when I teach this, is when we sit there and go, okay, I'm thinking about what I want, and I did a vision board, and nothing's happening. But when we become active energetically, that's when we look at our thoughts and we're doing feng shui. All of a sudden, you're like, whoa. Like I said, this one student that I'm talking about, she goes, this stuff freaking works. And she didn't say that word, she used another word, but with it said, it freaking works. I had another student in this same program And I walked into her house because I happened to go by her house. And I looked over in the corner, which is her wealth corner in a room. And I said, there's a huge grandfather clock, this enormous grandfather clock. And it wasn't doing the stuff. It wasn't moving. It was just sitting there, let's say dead, not working. And I said, that's in your wealth corner. This huge gold, thing at the bottom that moves, right, to make the time work. I don't know the technical terms, so that's what I'm going to say. I said, go and make that work. Go, move the chains and get that thing working, because that's in your wealth corner. And she did. About 2 weeks or less later, she had this pile of stuff, and she goes, I need to go through these piles. I need to search through them. She was motivated to make a change. She went through this stack and found $16,000 worth of checks that they had lost and could not find, and didn't realize that they had not been cashed or found. So within less than 10 days, I'm thinking it's a week, I'm pushing it out, she found $16,000 in 3 different checks by basically doing a little bit of feng shui. She was working on her belief system. She was working on the abundance. She basically took this clock, got it charged, got it moving, and she goes, I will never let that sit still ever again. So that's the motivation. That is the energy that feng shui does. It's a 4,000 years old technique. People use it. Even in China, what they will do, if they hire you in a company, they will go to your house and help you feng shui to make sure you're aligned with the company. That is really amazing. So that is step 2. The third thing is the 369 method. So if you're a numbers person, if you're a scientist, Tesla, which really should get a lot of credit. I think he's finally getting some credit in life. Amazing scientist. And he played life really low key, but he understood that the method of 369, those repetitive numbers, was basically the vibration of the universe and the connection, that it was magical. And if you look at even the pyramids, it's 3. These numbers, when they're used along with these other techniques combined together, it's almost, there's no way you can't succeed. It is so amazing. Tesla, if you haven't watched anything about Tesla, I'm going to encourage you to go watch a documentary. Brilliant man. And unfortunately, so many of his ideas were taken. I think it was Edison that stole his idea from the light bulb, but he actually originally created it. So he had the scientific mind, but he understood energy. And everything I'm talking about is about energy. It's the vibration of energy. And what you're doing with these techniques is you're bringing in all these different ideas of what you can do to magnify how you can manifest with ease and with not a lot of hard work, but it's concentration and a little bit of focus. When you take a combination of so many things, so what I do for a living is I understand energy. When I do a reading, someone can give me a name and I can tell you about that person, and it's just a first name. I can identify, tell you everything about them, whether living or deceased, because it's energy. Just like when you meet somebody, when you read the room or you meet someone, you have this feeling, you have this idea, you're just like, I'm not really sure, or this person feels really good. Now, sometimes we're wrong, and that's because where we are, where that person is, but we all feel energy. Like I said, when you walk into a fast food restaurant, you want to get out of there because it's a 3-ring circus. It's noisy, it's loud, you want to eat, you want to get out of there. We all feel things, but we just don't give it an identity. We don't put a label on it. We don't understand it. For people that have a lot of anxiety, it's energy. You can be outside and feel very calm, but you get into a crowded room and all of a sudden you can't breathe. Tesla understood how energy works. He understood how the universe communicates, and it was with a method of 369. It's also a collective vibration of energy. So what I also like to talk about, and the reason why I like to work in groups, is because the collective energy, the collective vibration shifts things. And if you think, well, what do you mean by that? Go to a sports event, watch and feel the energy. Think about when someone is walking for a cause, how people are passionate. We feel that. Go to a concert, people are getting chills. We feel it. So you can't identify or label it, But you know, without a doubt, you feel the vibration of energy, and you either want to be part of it or you don't. Even watching the news, especially these days, you go on there and they say, you know, you may not want to watch this because it can be a little overwhelming. It could be, you know, too hard to see, because we absorb energy. This is how we are unable to manifest and move forward in life. So if you're looking for that career, you're looking for that relationship, you're looking for peace, you're looking for healing, any of those things, abundance, making life easier, taking out the drama, it's not just one thing. There's not one pill for it. It's a combination of things that are pulled together, because energy is collective. You pull these things together and all of a sudden it multiplies. And that's what I like to do. I like to help people multiply their intention. Not one, oh, this is what you want to do. No, it's a multiplication of energy that comes together. And that's why it makes it easier, because that collective comes together. Think about when someone's going through a hard, or let's say that Habitat for Humanity, or you go to a country and you know you're building areas to help people make a better life. The group comes together, and like that, things are changed. The collective energy of an intention changes things. So when you're able to bring all these elements together, that's when you really see the transformation. I've been doing this work for 24, 25 years, try to understand it. And what I was teaching a long time ago, I've learned through time what works and what doesn't work. And what I've learned is when you combine these ingredients, it makes a difference. So think about a recipe. If you had a recipe of just noodles or just steak or just one thing, it's like, yeah, okay, I feel fed. But when you add the spices and the vegetables and the creams and the butters, it makes it, or the butter, I guess there's not a combination of butters. You add these things and all of a sudden it comes to life. There is a pleasure, there's an enjoyment, things begin to change. And that's how manifesting works. Manifesting is a combination of theories and spices and energy that helps work together. It's that machine that goes, oh, we got you. We're going to work with you. That's how it's going to go. So it's the intention of the forces, that you're not just doing it by yourself. And, you know, anytime you've been in a large group to make a change, hopefully with the same intention, it moves faster. But when we do it by ourselves and isolating ourselves, it's more difficult to manage it. It's like, I need help moving. It's nice to have a group of people, right? Not just one person. My passion is to teach. I'm known as a medium. I love doing it. But watching someone take their life and trying to put these techniques together and watching the results, that is my joy. That is my passion. That is what I try to manifest. Because a few years back, it was about how do I do this differently? What do I want to do differently? And I'm like, I want to go back to teaching. And so manifesting this is what's happened. This is part of me. One of my manifestation stories I want to talk about is my partner, now my wife, Dana. She's behind the camera, in front of the camera. I had been married before 2 other times, once divorced, once a widow, and I really wanted to have a partner. And I wanted to have someone that was aligned with what I believed and to be part of my practice and to be part of my family and to have that. I mean, who doesn't want that? But I really knew that this is what I do. This is what I love. Why shouldn't I be able to manifest it? So aligning myself in many different ways. And I wrote a letter to the universe, and there were scribbles. It wasn't about making it perfect, because perfection doesn't create, you don't manifest by doing things perfectly. That's not how it works. I wrote the letter and I put it away. Well, 6 months later, I met Dana, and I was like, wow. And I pulled out the letter, and she fit everything on there. And I went, whoa. What I realized is I didn't put a man or a woman.
Surprise.
And I thought, okay, what do I do with this? I asked the universe. I aligned all these theories that I teach. And I said, I align all these things. The universe said, here is your person. Here's your person right here, and she's available. And what are you going to do? And I went, I guess this is my destiny. This is my purpose. This is what I'm supposed to do. I know it works. I know when we aligned it all, everything just fits into place. And that's what happened. So we've been together, I think, 8 years, married a year this month. Woo-hoo. Can't believe she put up with me. But teaching Money, Miracles, and Infinite Bliss think of it as a 33-day incubator that we start putting things together for it to grow. And if anyone remembers kindergarten, or first grade, where you'd put a seed in cotton, and you'd put water and you'd wait for it to grow. And for some reason, that seed knew how to grow up and the roots went down. That's what the 33-day incubator is. It's about creating an environment for change and growth to manifest whatever seed it is that you want to plant. And that seed could be anything. It could be multiple things. But bottom line is, it's about realizing how you create this with alignment. Because it's not just, oh, let's do a vision board and say positive things. No, because if so, no one would need a class. People would have so much success. We would be like, wow, everyone is really hitting it. Everyone's winning and they're just feeling right on. No, if you're feeling that struggle, it's because not all the things are put together. All the spices and the recipe's not complete yet. There's other pieces that you're missing. And it doesn't have to be hard. It just means, how do you apply that? So I would love to share, actually, you taking this class. I would love to have your story as a success story. I would love to share, because I want to share more success stories here. Why can't your story be the success story? Why can't you say, this is where I was, I did these things, and this is where I am? Why can't you have that story? I want to talk about the benefits of doing these things. And I think part of it is really being in your power. And I hope it's okay to share some of this stuff. So I hope you're open to hearing these things. But part of it is, we sometimes feel like when our life is not going right, that we're victims. And we may not use that word, but that's how it feels. I believe that the benefits are, it removes the uncertainty and brings in our security. It brings us back to saying, I have the tools to fix this. Everything I've ever taught is, what's the tool in your toolbox? And if you only have a hammer, you're not going to be successful, because sometimes a hammer doesn't change a light bulb, right? We need multiple things in order to be successful. And so when we apply these things, and part of it is, we all deserve abundance. I mean, why should we worry about the next paycheck, or I want to take a vacation, or, the car needs new tires? So part of that is that financial stability, to create it so we feel safe. And that's the big word, is, how do we feel safe? Love and partnerships. I just told you how I met Dana. If you're not open to maybe connecting with the same-sex partner, be more clear. But for me, I just wanted to have this soul in my life, this soul that really aligned with me in many different ways. And that's what the universe brought, because it's the partnership with the universe. And I think the other thing is to love yourself. I don't think we give ourselves permission to love ourselves. And one of my students said, which has had some great success in manifesting, is she abandoned herself. And she said, I'm learning not to abandon myself. And that's that limiting belief. We put everybody else first. We don't put ourselves at all, even on the list. So part of manifesting is, how can you receive? Not going to affect all of us. So we have to remember to love ourselves as a priority. What if you want to travel? New home, new car, a change. Yeah, why can't you do that? And even when we look at, well, right now, the limiting belief, well, interest rates are high and I don't have the money. No, I've seen stories, I've heard stories, I've seen stories. That limiting belief, it can't happen, because Larry needs to go into another room and pay rent, because you don't want Larry there. You want to be able to create a life that would be important to you. And creating peace. Sometimes with all these things, we start not having our bliss. What about infinite bliss? Why can't we feel like, oh, I've got this? When challenges come up, you've got your tool bag. You've got a tool bag to say, I can manage this. I have someone I can call. I have a support system, or I just have the people in my life. This manifesting, what we call, because I'm sorry about this, but Dana is Spanish. We love
I
Mexican
am.
food. So this is the full enchilada. You're not just getting, oh, let's do a vision board and just have positive thoughts. No, this is a combination of things. What I really get excited about is I'm going to bring on my friend Stacy. I'm so proud of her in so many ways. She has been through so much in her life. Her backstory is horrific. Horrific story. Almost killed. Made it through some really hard times, and she is an amazing woman and a beautiful soul. And we're going to bring her on just to let her tell you a little bit of her manifesting story. This is my ego saying I'm so proud when people apply these methods and tools to change and shift their life. So is she on here?
I'm adding her
right now.
so
just
she will pop in at any moment. There she is.
Good. So we'll let her come on first, and then I've got some other stories. Hey, Stacy.
Hi, how are you?
Let's see. Let me turn it up so we can make sure to hear it.
Poor Stacy. This is one of many stories I've had her share. This is one I'm like, Stacy, can you share your story? One is because she has an amazing journey, and you would never know about her backstory. But this story right now is really powerful.
Let's make sure we can hear you, Stacy, real quick.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
It might be your earbuds.
Okay. Hold on, let me take them out.
Sorry about that, but
I always say it's easier to talk to dead people because we don't need earbuds than it is to work on technology.
okay.
Is that good?
It's challenged a little bit, but if you get really close, maybe everybody can hear you. Okay.
Oh boy. Is that better if I talk like this? How's that?
Oh my gosh, I am not quite sure. Okay, so everybody else can hear you, so just jump in and go, girl.
As long as they can hear you, fine.
Yep.
Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, I've been in mentoring with Deb for a while now, and you certainly worked through a lot of limiting beliefs, and I was in a job that I was happy with, and things were going well, kind of until they weren't. And things, were kind of taking this weird turn, and I just had this like instinctual feeling, I would say at the beginning of this year, that it was like, ooh, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen with work. I'm not meant for this, for a long time. And so I was, obviously Left Brain Larry came up, and Deb helped me kind of quiet him down over and over again, and using my tools, and saying, okay, like, calm down, let's lean into this and see what I'm like learning, right? And I had these wonderful opportunities to kind of practice and lean into more, around like leadership and understanding what archetypes I was sitting in, or wanted to step into or step out of, based on what I was experiencing. And it was giving me a great practice to like use my voice, which of course is like a common reoccurring theme in my life. And the more I did this, the more out of alignment I found myself in this job that I was in. And I thought, oh my gosh, like, are you kidding? and the 369, we started working on the 369 kind of manifestation in class. And I knew that I needed something different to change at work, but I really wasn't sure specifically what it was. So I was just writing about how I wanted to feel at work and what I wanted that passion to be like, and, using that leadership that I loved. And so it was more like all of these feelings or these energies that I wanted to bring into whatever new career, could possibly be out there. And, I was trying not to control too hard and freak out about the outcome of what it could be. And so I was really working, I think one of the things at the time was joy, that I really wasn't experiencing a lot of joy in my life. So I was finding ways to bring joy into my life, spending more time with friends, and, support groups of, friends and people who are in common places. And for work, I was traveling in like one of my favorite cities, favorite places, and I thought, gosh, I would love to come back to the city, but um, with a different company in a different position. And, sitting there that day, I was like, gosh, wouldn't it be great if I could get X job at, X company? And, gosh, you know what I would do with that? Oh my gosh. And my friend called me and was like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm just sitting here, and I'm like, I'm in the city, and I'm just like, oh, I know something has to change at work. And I'm just like, sitting here thinking about this, and oh my God, I'm getting so excited. Like, wouldn't it be cool if, and I just like, all of a sudden I just felt this like jolt, I guess, of like energy and excitement and passion. And it was like, this is how I want to feel. And yes, this is what I want. I wish I could have this job. Oh my gosh. And not kidding, 4 hours later, I got a LinkedIn request from a headhunter who said, hey, we have been searching for you, and you've been a little difficult to find. And I think I have the perfect opportunity for you. Would you be willing to talk about it? And I was like, yeah, of course, absolutely. That sounds great. And the next morning I had a call, and it was for my dream job with the dream company that I had just stated out loud the day before. I mean, I think I called Deb like faster than I've ever called her in my life. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And it was just, I went through this, the interview process, and I was kind of like, well, the job's a little different than what I would hope it would be. And Deb just kind of helped me change my energy kind of going into that interview. And they said, what do you think about the job? And I said, I think it's great. I just wish it could be this. And they were like, oh yeah, no, actually that's perfect. That's absolutely. And then they ended up, I think a week and a half later, I was hired with a start date, and it all just fell into place. So it's been awesome. And as you were talking about feng shui earlier, Deb, I had to laugh, right? Because, I've been so busy at this new job. I'm 2 months into it now, or 2.5, and my house is just a disaster, right? Just trying to like get back into life in an office and all that comes with that. And this weekend I was like, I can't take it anymore. I've got to clean up all this clutter. And I did. And I stepped into work today, and things were so much easier for me today. And I was like, of course, because yeah, that's how that happens. So
That is so awesome, Stacy.
yeah.
Hopefully everybody can hear us.
Yes, that's
So yeah.
And I have tears in my eyes because these are the stories of it. I mean, I'm officiating, and I don't know if Stacy's going to be coming, but I'm officiating a wedding on Thursday of this week from a woman that is my age, 29, has never been married, and she has a partner, and I'm officiating the wedding on Thursday. This is what this manifesting technique does. So with that said, and thank you, Stacy. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I hope you stay on.
Okay, I will. Yes, thank you.
What I remember the movie Jerry Maguire. Help me help you. I hope it's okay, but I really want to help people in their lives to manifest. Why can't you be another story like Stacy and these other students getting married? Why can't you be one of the statistics in a positive way? And this is my passion. This is what I manifest, is manifesting, helping people find their path and their journey with all those great things that they desire.
I can't hear Deb well.
Okay.
So let's just check in with people real quick
Okay.
and make sure they can hear
I
you.
love to talk, so we can do it again.
Give us a thumbs up or something if you can hear Deb okay now.
Can you hear me now?
I'm going to move this closer and see.
Any thumbs up?
Can you hear Deb, guys?
Hello.
Can't hear.
Okay. Is there?
Oh, so some people can. So I think we're okay.
Okay. My my manifesting is I love being a teacher. I love helping people manifest and create a life that they want. And I will promise you, when you follow these techniques and pull them together, and you're willing to do the work, meaning apply each of these techniques, it will be life changing. And I promise you, I mean, when I see students that go, oh, I did A, B, and C, like Stacy was just saying, with the feng shui, she went back in and did a few things and it began to shift again. That's the beauty of it. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be exhausting or overwhelming. You don't have to be psychic. You don't have to do, you don't have to have a high IQ. It's just how to align these things. So Dana keeps changing these things.
So just talk a little bit louder.
Okay. Probably because I've been talking all day, so my voice is tight.
Okay.
My intention always is to help give people the power that they can create a life they want. Bottom line, do you want to change your life? It's up to you. Do you want to do it now? This is 1010, really, the starting of new beginnings, or you want to wait till 224, 225. The universe doesn't care when. The universe is saying, I'm still sitting out here. You can do whenever you want. You don't have to do it today. But this is my comeback. Don't complain that your life isn't the way you want if you're not willing to participate. I always say, I will help you through a process. I will help you understand. I will help you manifest, but I will not drag you screaming and crying. I will help you that partnership. And it's about using all the energy the universe has. The universe is massive. It is just waiting for you to open that door. You get to decide at what point you want to make a change. And again, it's not just one technique. It is a multiple of little things that come together. It's like a great recipe. When you put all those little spices together, it's like, wow, can I have this recipe? We want the recipe for success. We want to be able to empower ourselves. We want to make life changes. Why should we have to struggle? It doesn't matter about your education, your psychic abilities, how good you are, how good you look, your age. Manifestation comes from being aligned and creating and using that right brain. Even Stacy said, I had to tell Larry to go chop wood or go do something else. It's understanding that we have the power in our thoughts and in the energy and in our environment to change things. Even teaching people how to have better communication with partners and bosses and what things are not working so you can shift those things and to make it about you. I'm manifesting, and I have been for a long time. Teaching is my passion, and I love it. It's not just about, oh, let me be in front of people. I really like seeing results, and there are so many of them. I mean, I just told you 2 stories, or 3 if I include mine. There are millions or thousands of stories of people going, wow, this really does freaking work. And you can have that story as well. So I think in the comments here, there is a way to enroll. Of course, it doesn't last long. I'm not here forever, but I'm sure next year at this time. It is, I think the name of it is Money, Magic, and Intensive.
Money, miracles, and infinite
Thank
bliss.
you.
When you're teaching, sometimes everything else leaves.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know the name of this. I just know this stuff works. And as one of my students say, this shit works. And that's exactly, I hope I can say that on Facebook. But bottom line, it does work. And it's applying, again, these techniques. So today is 1010. This is new beginnings. The angels are out there. The universe is saying, this is a day for transformation and change. This is about you taking accountability and saying, I want my life to look different. Next year at this time, or even earlier, because I've seen results within a couple of weeks, I want to have a life that I've been thinking about for a really long time. And you don't even really have to get off the couch. I mean, you can watch me by sitting on the couch. That's the magic of this too. But enroll. I would be honored to walk with you, to be able to help you manifest this. And it doesn't have to be difficult. It's just shifting. It's taking all the energy that's out there and applying these 3 simple tools and a little bit more. There's a little bit more magic that I can offer to get you through the opportunity to say you don't have to complain about your life, but you can talk about how amazing your life is. I hope that you do sign up and join, and thank you for letting me into your world for a few moments. And thank you for joining me on Facebook Live. Once again, if you missed it, the link is in the comments. And join today. Again, I'm not gonna be here forever, okay? Just so you know, I'm gonna be here for a short time. That's it. That's all I got. Just kidding. Just please join. If this is something of interest, you really want your life to look different, it can transform. It's a 33-day process because it's an incubation time of where you're planting that seed, you're gonna watch it grow, and you're gonna watch transformation. It's magic.